back to my channel. I hope everybody's having a fantabulous, wonderful holiday Christmas season. And for today's episode of What Should They Do Next, I thought we would give it a Christmas spin because I am in the Christmas spirit and I am I am ready for Christmas to be here. So I thought, why not do a Christmas special? Now, usually on What Should They Do Next, we give an existing video game series or a gaming publisher 5 brand new ideas of what should they do next. But this time we are going bigger and I think better. We are giving the video game industry eight brand new ideas this time around. And the reason being 8 is because, look, I love comic books. If you cannot see behind me, I love everything comic book and superhero wise. I love it all. And so today I thought we'd do something just a little bit different. So here you go. Are you ready? Here are my 8 brand new ideas for a superhero video game or DLC. Number 8, Superman's Christmas Adventure. Now this is one of the earliest DC Christmas specials and is also, in my opinion, one of the best fun and pure uncut holiday fun. And it, by the way, is completely out of the box and insane. It is about these two guys, Mr. Grouch and Mr. Meanie, taking their rocket ship because, if you have read a lot of the comics from the golden age of comics, everybody had a rocket. Okay, everybody did. But this rocket happens to have Lois Lane strapped to it, and the rocket is to go to the North Pole to kidnap Santa's reindeer. And look, I know that I told you it was insane. It was out of the box. It even gets more out of the box when Santa's reindeer is actually knocked out by knockout gas and Superman has to take the place of the reindeer. Yes, I know this is insane. I said that. I know I've said that several times, but it really is. So this is what I'm thinking. I don't know if the Superman game is happening or not. There was one in the works, then I think they decided not to do it, and then now there's rumors that there might be another one on the way. I don't know, but first and foremost, we are due a Superman game. I am ready for a Superman game. I am so ready for this. I'm so ready for it, and this would be a fantastic DLC, Christmas DLC that they could come out with attached to the Superman video game. I think it would be great for us to have something that is part of the holiday season for us to experience through the way of Superman. But let me know in the comments below what you think about that. But anyway, on to the next one. Number 7, Batman: The Long Halloween. Taking place during the early days of Batman's crime fighting, Long Halloween tells the story of a mysterious killer named Holiday, who murders people on holidays. Working with District Attorney Harvey Dent and Captain James Gordon, Batman races against the counter as he tries to discover what Holiday is going to do before he claims another life. Now there is a holiday each month, so there is a new murder each month. And on top of this, there is a huge city war going on between the Falcons and the Maronis. And I think this would be a fantastic video game series. There is 14 comics, I believe, in the series, and it is actually one of my favorite comic book series. And I think it would be great to actually have a video game series based off of this. Now, yes, there is a Batman series, and actually one of my favorite one of my favorite video game series of all time, the Batman Arkham series, and there's one in there called Batman Origins. And it's kind of the oddball out of the group, but it is a really good video game, and it is loosely based off of this. But I do think they could expand on this. And yes, I know it has Halloween in the title, but this comic book really takes place, a lot of it, during Christmas. So, and the main events happen in Christmas a lot. And I think this would be a great, like I said, video game series for Rocksteady. I don't know they would ever do a standalone Batman series again or not, but I would love to see them do it, or somebody else in the video game industry to do it. You guys get the picture. I think this would be a fun series for us to go through. But that is number 7. On to the next one. Number 6, Spawn Volume 1, number 39, Noel. It is Christmas Eve in Harlem. A family sits around a table. Greg, the naive son, and Nadine, the rebellious daughter, and the overworked mother, Phyllis, who works 2 jobs as a waitress and cleaning toilets. Phyllis instructs the kids to go to bed when she leaves for work. However, her kids end up watching a Christmas movie, but Nadine leaves during the middle of the movie to go see a boy that she likes, Greg, who accidentally falls asleep until he is awakened by the clock that strikes midnight. Now he thinks he hears Santa and his sleigh bells on top of the roof, but it actually ends up being Spawn after some criminals that he's after, and the sleigh bell sound is coming from his chains that he uses as his weapons sometimes. There is a lot here to unpack in this comic book. I barely told you guys what this story is about. I would love to see this as actually a DLC, again like the Superman one, connected to a Spawn video game. Now, Spawn, for those of you who don't know, is written by Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane is actually one of the best comic book writers and comic book artists out there. He's one of my personal favorites. He did do a Spawn video game back when the original Xbox came out, the big black one, and it was good. But look, Todd, we can do really good now on a Spawn comic. We have so much story here, and Spawn Noel would make a fantastic DLC to attach to that, so we could experience a Spawn Christmas. But you guys get the picture. I think this would be a fantastic way for us to experience a Christmas in a video game. So that is number 6. On to the next one. Number 5, The Amazing Spider-Man, Twas the Night Before Christmas. In this Christmas issue, we see Spider-Man in a reflective mood, which is a little different for the Spider-Man Christmas comics if you guys have ever read them. This one, we see him reflecting on the loss of his Aunt May and the loss of his child in the delivery room with his wife, Mary Jane. While sitting on the Daily Bugle, a mission report comes up about a mutant in Central Park. Spider-Man in this, in this comic book gains an unlikely friend and counseling by an extra-dimensional mutant known as Nate Gray, aka a X-Men. Now look, for those of you who don't know, if you'll be living on the rock if you didn't know, there are these awesome Spider-Man video games by Marvel with PlayStation. And they are awesome games. And if you haven't tried them, I highly recommend that you do. But Marvel, along with PlayStation, is about to do a Wolverine video game, which I am super excited about. So that can only mean one thing. I think we have a X-Men video game in the future, hopefully. I don't know. But I would love to see it to happen, and this would be a great way to marry the two together. I think this would be a good video game at the end of this story. Actually, it's very heartwarming. By the way, if you haven't read this comic book, I highly recommend it. It has a very heartwarming ending. I think it is a very good Christmas story. Yes, it is sad, but it does have, like I said, a very good, heartwarming ending, as most Christmas stories should, in my mind anyway. But let me know in the comments below what you think of this one. This is number 5, so on to the next one. Number 4, a Hellboy Christmas Special. Hellboy Christmas Special is written by Dark Horse Comics, and it is a one-shot comic book. Now, for those of you who are not quite into comic books like me, one-shot comics is basically just one and one only. It is a standalone. There's not a series of it. It is just one comic book. Now, this Hellboy Christmas story is actually based off of folk tales, and they are given a Christmas edge to them, and there are so many little stories. This comic book is small stories, and there is a lot of good small little stories in here. Like for example, there is one called Christmas Underground, in which Hellboy travels to England on Christmas Eve in 1989, where he descends through a passageway in a graveyard in search of a daughter of a dying woman who has married the Prince of the Underground to save her. The daughter has married the Prince of the Underground, and he goes and saves her, and there is so much more to these stories. There is one based off of Christmas Carol in here. There is so much, and a lot of people, including me, this was almost my number 1. If you go online, you'll see that some people for Christmas comic books, this is actually their number 1. It is a classic. In my mind, it is a classic. It is a wonderful series. It has a lot of moral stories in it, a lot of Christmas moral stories. And I think this would be actually a very good series for someone to do, a very good Christmas series for someone to do, to make into video games in this video game industry. I would love to be able to experience Christmas in this way, but that is just what I would like to do. Let me know in the comments below what you think about Hellboy's Christmas Special. I think it's a good one. But anyway, on to the next one. Number 3. Yes, Virginia, there is a Santron, a Marvel Holiday Special. Yes, Virginia takes place at a Avengers holiday party. And look, guys, the comic book, look, if you read it, you'll understand what I mean when I say this. It is worth a price of admission. There are so many fun and wacky games going on. However, the holiday party takes an unexpected, somewhat dark turn when a killer Santa robot crashes the party and actually ends up revealing himself as Ultron. Now, look, I just told you a little bit about the comic. There is a lot to this comic book and a lot of cool Christmas adventure to it. Now look, we had a horrible I can't say horrible enough. Horrible Avengers game that came out a few years ago. It was bad. And I think, look here, video game industry, it's time for you to redeem yourselves. And yes, Virginia, a Marvel Holiday Special would be a very good way to make it up to us. I think this would be a fantastic video game. I would love to actually see this happen, and I would absolutely love it. But let me know in the comments below, again, if you think you would like it as well, and if you think maybe not as a standalone game. Totally get that. Maybe even as maybe a new Avenger game comes out, and this could be again a DLC. But anyway, that is number 3. On to the next one. Number 2, Demon, part of the Uncanny X-Men series. Now, this comic book puts a spotlight on Katie Pryde, who is part of the X-Men. Katie, who is left alone at school during the holidays, has to single-handedly take down a demon that invades the school. Now, this comic book is full of little joyous little moments in my mind where Katie has to use things throughout the school to take down the big demon. I think this would be a awesome survival Christmas holiday game. We have never have had a Superman, a superhero, Superman too, but superhero survival game. And I think this would be a good opportunity for the video game industry to give it a try. And Marvel games, this would be a fantastic excuse to try and do that. This comic book, if you go like really these next the last four here, they switch around as number one on a lot of different Christmas lists. You will find that this one is sometimes at number one. I was debating about putting this one at number one on the list, but I decided to do the one that I did, which you're about to see in a minute. But anyway, I think Demon is a great Christmas comic book, and I would love to see this happen. So Marvel Games, make it happen. Now on to our final one. And at number one, Batman Noel. Inspired by Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, Batman Noel features different interpretations of the Dark Knight, along with his enemies and allies playing different roles in different eras. Along the way, Batman has to come to terms with his past, present, and future as he battles all his villains along the way. From the campy 1960s to the dark version of Batman, this comic book is jam-packed with everything that we could want. And also Batman explores what it means to be the superhero that he is. This, like I said, is jam-packed with a lot of good stories to it, a lot of good Christmas stories to it. It's a lot like our number 4, Hellboy's A Christmas Special, but I really think that this one, to me, in my opinion, it was hard for me to pick a number 1, but this has just something special about it. It has something special about it, and it does have a lot of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol in it, feel to it. And I think out of all these, this might be the most Christmas one besides the insane, wacky Superman one we had up there. But I do think this one is a very good example of how a Christmas comic book could have so many good moral stories and have them Christmas themed. I think this is a great opportunity for somebody in the industry, in the video game industry, to do actually a series again on all of these stories that are in this comic book. I think it's a great opportunity. Like I said, Rocksteady, I would love for them to do it, but really anybody could do it if they want to. But there you go. There are my 8. What should they do next? Superhero Christmas video game or DLC? But let me know in the comments below of what you think. Maybe you like one of these better than my number 1. Or like I said at the beginning of the video, there is so many. It was hard for me to choose what Christmas ones I wanted to do on this. And the list could have gone on and on, honestly, guys. It could have. And if you think one is missing off this list, then let me know in the comments below. But please like, comment, and subscribe. You don't have to, but I would love for you to. And I will see you on the next video that I see you on. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Bye-bye.